Hey guys, it's Will. In this video, I want to tell you guys how to convince your children to read. And here's something that's very important because you may be someone who has children and you absolutely understand the power of reading. You understand that some of these books are incredible. They will change people's lives. They will give you incredible information and bring you to enormous amounts of wealth, fulfillment, happiness. But your children, or maybe it's your friend, they don't understand. And, no matter what you do, they will not read the books. And, you can tell them this, you can tell them that. And believe me, coming from experience, some of these books that I've tried to convince others to read, I know the value of because they have literally helped millions of people go from poverty to millionaires. And, there's so much credibility behind some of these books. Not just Napoleon Hill books, although he is a big one, having studied 50 of the wealthiest people in the world for 20 years to create his books, but also other books that most people have never even heard of that are just as amazing. The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, and The Color Purple is another great one, and so forth. So what do? Well, I think mindset is very important, and I think you should start there because I've heard this story many times. You give people books and they don't read them. And I hear this all the time, these parents will buy all these books, whether it's success books, personal finance books, fiction books, or business books. And they will spend all this money buying, $200 worth of books for their child at Christmas. And guess what? They don't read a single one. They say they will, and they shelve it and they never read it. And because their mindset is not correct, because they don't want to read it, you're pretty much just wasting money. And I know this from experience. This is how I used to be. And I used to get gifts, not $200 worth, but I would get gifts from relatives or family. And sometimes they would be clothing, sometimes they would be books, and they would be trying to help me. But I would just be so, against it. I mean, sometimes I'd be very polite, but I would put it on my shelf and it would just look really boring and I wouldn't be interested enough in it. And unfortunately, the truth is you can't shove something down someone's throat. And there are books, even to this day, that I have never read. There are a few books that are fiction. There's, certain clothing that I've never really, taken to. And the thing is, if the child, doesn't appreciate it, then it's not going to work. And more importantly than that, it's partially due to society. I was brought up having been surrounded and taught and blasted by media that Christmas and birthdays were a time where all my classmates got all these wonderful presents, toys, and all the things that people wanted at the time. The best thing to do is not force it upon them. In fact, I would say it's a waste of your money to be, spending money on too many books before you've really gotten that down. I would say maybe buy one or two, but even before that, at the very least, you want to not, and don't do it in a forcible way, but just, show them the value of this. And sometimes that's just never going to be there. And, for a lot of people, it takes a certain level of pain before they consider reading, these types of books. And just today on YouTube, I was watching this video, and it was this man who now is very wealthy, and he was literally making the video with two Lamborghinis behind him. No, it wasn't Tai Lopez. But this man, he literally was sitting there and he was saying how, he got these books from his parents and he never read them. But then one day, he was so sick of his, job that he picked up one of them and read it. And he said, that book changed my life and it allowed me to have the wealth and freedom that I now do. So I just find that incredible. Now, is it a guarantee? No. The thing is, book knowledge is just one thing. Actually turning that into action is another. and you may know what to do, but for whatever reason, you're too lazy, you don't want to put in the work, that there's other barriers to success. As always, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you found some value in this video. See you later. Peace.